Another episode, another Teacup trail. We are on episode 7 of season 7. This is like one of the biggest episodes of the show from the period of season 6 to 8, especially in regard to the love triangle. I'm so excited to talk about this, even more excited than the last episode. So I think I'm gonna post back to back one more time before I go back to the Wednesday schedule. But here we go. I'm so excited. Let's start with this one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I thought you were leaving.
Don't rush me.
Okay, ready, go.
Good morning.
Hi.
For Allie's favorite teacher.
Bribing a public official, Constable?
Well, if you eat the evidence and nobody finds out.
Well, for the record, Allie was getting an A anyway.
I just came by to let you know that Allie will be going home with Opal's mother this afternoon.
Oh,
I'm heading to Cape Fullerton. I've been called as a witness in a trial.
well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, though. I'll see you around town.
Safe travels.
The episode started with Nathan taking the lead. It was interesting that he was leaving, but he came back when Allie thought he was leaving, and Nathan basically told Allie not to rush to go back inside the school after recess with the other kids so that Nathan will have enough time to talk to Elizabeth. Again, the conversation was about Allie and the Mountie life. They still have that flirty banters back and forth between them in the conversation. It's really nice Elizabeth understand Nathan from the viewpoint of how a Mountie life is, and that how Nathan often have to travel out of town, and just that important dedication that comes with the job. The look on Elizabeth's face at the end, I wasn't sure what that look meant, because I assumed that she's still sorting out her feeling for Nathan and Lucas, but at the same time, I think she started to think about Nathan as a whole, like his occupation. In the back of her mind, I truly believe that if she does get closer to Nathan, she does have to come into that headspace of, okay, I really like you as a person, but you a Mountie. And that would be a huge challenge, a huge question for her, and whether if she wanted to go through that.
Don't usually see you up this way.
No, I suppose you don't.
Yeah, recess is almost over.
Better hurry then. Am I interrupting?
Actually, I was just about to call the children back in.
Then I will be very quick. Do you have any plans for Saturday evening?
Tomorrow? No, not really.
There's this new English novelist. Have you heard of Virginia Woolf?
Yes, my sister Viola lives in England. She's a fan. She just sent me some of her short stories.
Well, Virginia Woolf is doing a reading in Union City tomorrow night.
I read about that in the paper.
Would you be my guest? I'm sorry, I really sprung that on you.
No, obviously, I would love to.
Mr. Thornton, shouldn't recess be over?
Yes, it should. Would you please do the honors for me?
Sure.
Why don't you think about it and let me know?
I will. Thank you, Lucas.
She'll be discussing women in publishing. Right up your alley.
Thank you. All right, everyone, please take out your workbooks. Turn to page 9.
Timing wasn't Lucas' friend in this scene, but he managed to pull it off. When Elizabeth told him that she had no plan, it was like basically like a metaphor, like open door. He had the opportunity to ask her what he wanted to ask her. And the look on Elizabeth's face was just shock and very surprised, and I bet there's like so many thoughts coming at her mind right now. It's just like, okay, what did just happen? But it's really nice how Lucas kind of like was smooth in like sliding it in. Like he mentioned about this author, and Elizabeth automatically confirmed that she does like this author, and that made it even easier for Lucas to pull out those 2 tickets and ask her to be his guest to the reading. The timing wasn't a fun to Elizabeth too. She was in school, she was about to continue her lesson with her students, and she needed time to think it through. And I really like how Lucas was so patient, so respectful, and he was understanding of the timing and the environment that they were in, and he was willing to give her time to think it through. And it's really respectful of him to do that. But on the other hand, is he doesn't like deny it yet. He's willing to allow Elizabeth to think it through. Hopefully that she will eventually say yes to the reading when she does decide. She probably assumed that Lucas is trying to date her right now, but I really believe that this is an opportunity for them to get closer as friends, and friends do hang out, right? So we'll see what Elizabeth thinks of it in the next scene.
Elizabeth,
Rosemary?
you know you're going to tell me whatever it is eventually. You might as well make it now.
Lucas dropped by the school earlier with some tickets to a book reading out of town in Union City tomorrow night. Virginia Woolf.
Oh my goodness, she's all the rage. What did you tell him?
He's giving me some time to think about it.
All right, what are you going to tell him?
No, obviously. There's little Jack to consider. It's an evening event out of town, so I'd have to stay overnight.
Elizabeth, you know perfectly well Lee and I would be thrilled to have little Jack overnight. I think there might be something else holding you back.
I'm worried if I say yes to Lucas, it'll give him the wrong idea. And then there's Nathan.
All right, never mind about Lucas and Nathan for a moment. What do you want to do?
I want to go.
Well, then go!
Elizabeth doesn't see this as a date. She doesn't want to see it as a date. On Lucas' side, I don't think Lucas is calling this a date. If Elizabeth does say yes, I think Lucas just wants to hang out with her more. And he knows that Elizabeth is into books and female authors, especially this one. So Lucas most likely think that this invitation to a reading will be something good for Elizabeth, but at the same time, he will get to hang out with her more with no distraction from the people in Hope Valley. Elizabeth is worried about little Jack and being out of town for a night, and we have to keep this in mind. This will be the first time that Elizabeth is out of town for the night, and that will be the first time that she leaves little Jack behind at home. But Rosemary and Lee are a great support system, and Rosemary basically is Team Elizabeth in this scene. She's like, do whatever makes you happy. Like, if you want to go to this reading, just go. Who cares about Nathan? Who cares about Lucas at this point? It's just a free opportunity to go to in a reading of one of your favorite authors. Like, do you want to go? And Rosemary made a good point in this scene, and I think Elizabeth just overthinking everything, all the little details, little Jack and traveling and Nathan and Lucas. At the end of the day, it's just, what does Elizabeth want to do? And then I think at the same time, Rosemary wanted to encourage her to open up more and to be vulnerable, just to get out of the comfort zone. Elizabeth is still struggling, of course, with the grieving of Jack, but at the same time, Rosemary wants her friend to be happy and to enjoy life and just do something just for her. No t-shirt things, no motherhood, just for one night. It's all about Elizabeth, and I think that's a great friend right there, that Elizabeth has in Rosemary.
And let's finish this later. Come, have a seat. Can I get you anything?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, here you are.
Here I am.
What are your thoughts on Virginia Woolf?
Her writing is visionary.
Well, no, I meant...
I know what you meant. I was trying to be funny.
Right.
Lucas.
Elizabeth, if you don't want to go...
Yes.
Yes?
I would love to go with you to the reading.
That's wonderful.
But
But?
it was so sweet of you to invite me, and I really don't mean to presume, but if you were in any way thinking that this might be, a date, then I'm sorry. I can't.
Elizabeth, it would be my pleasure to escort you in whatever way makes you feel comfortable.
And I can't wait.
I'll pick you up at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
10 is perfect. What do I wear?
Well, it's at the Yorkton, and there's a formal reception afterwards.
Oh. Okay, great. Thank you.
There was just like friendly awkwardness between Elizabeth and Lucas, if that makes sense. Lucas is waiting to hear what Elizabeth decided on the reading, and Elizabeth, mentally, she's like, okay, this is a date, I don't want it to be a date. I want to say yes, but like, I'm losing my mind, and it's just this awkwardness, especially coming from Elizabeth. She was just so nervous and anxious about how this conversation would go. And right before Elizabeth hurt Lucas by saying yes, Lucas was about to tell her if she doesn't want to go, it's okay. And I truly believe with all my heart that if Elizabeth did not cut in, Lucas would have said, it's okay if you don't want to go. Like, I don't want to pressure you. It's okay. Like, don't worry about it. But Elizabeth cut him and said yes, and of course, Lucas was happy to hear that, but I think he was very, very surprised because of how their previous conversation went. It's just, Lucas probably guarded his heart, like, okay, I think she will most likely say no just because it was out of the blue, and I mean, it looks like a date, but it's really not. And then I think what was so powerful about the scene is that Elizabeth was comfortable enough to open up to Lucas about her honest, true feelings about this circumstance, and she doesn't really want to continue and go to this reading without making sure that she is on the same page as Lucas. So that's why she said, I don't want it to be a date. I just want to see it as just a hangout as friends, going to reading and just enjoying the evening. That moment of Elizabeth saying that she doesn't want it to be a date, I think it's just so amazing to see in a friendship, especially if that friendship can lead to a more serious romantic relationship down the road. They already have this comfortableness between the two, and Lucas was so understanding, and he listened to her and he respected her, and he said he agreed. He's like, yeah, whatever you want to do with this reading, like however you want to proceed. And I think that made Elizabeth even more comfortable, just not only with her friendship with Lucas, but going out of town with him for the night as friends. This is like another level to the friendship. Elizabeth is so excited. I truly believe she felt relieved by the end of this moment, and it's just something that she hasn't done in a long time. Like, she hasn't done anything for herself in a long time, and Lucas basically gave her that opportunity, and he's a great friend to her, and she is a great friend to him, and it's going really well for both of them right now.
Well, you look happy.
Lucas invited me to see a famous author in Union City tomorrow night. We're going strictly as friends.
Elizabeth, you never have to explain yourself to me.
Thank you. I should be going.
I hear you have big plans this weekend.
Elizabeth told you? What did she say?
Just that you're taking her to Union City.
Strictly as
Friends. Her words exactly.
Bill is so supportive of Elizabeth and her love life, and just want her to be happy. Elizabeth is still like beaming with happiness in that scene with Bill, and strictly as friends, Elizabeth and Lucas strictly as friends, even though Bill finished that line. So again, like I said, they are on the same page.
I told Lucas I'd go.
Elizabeth, I am so excited. I need to know everything. What did you say? What did he say? I need all the details. I need all the details.
Gentleman that he is, he agreed that we would be going simply out of a mutual interest.
A mutual interest in
Virginia Woolf.
all right. Oh, Elizabeth. Oh, this is the first time. It's the first time in forever that you've been out on the town. I'm so thrilled for you.
Are you sure you don't mind taking him?
Are you kidding? It's about time you asked, Lee, and I can't wait to have this little munchkin all to ourselves. Elizabeth, he's going to be just fine with us.
I know. It's just, I've never been away from him overnight before.
Once in a while, you are allowed to do something just for you.
This is the last scene I will talk about in this video, and we will pick up the second half of the episode in the next video, so check that out. That is also live on my channel. First thing first, Elizabeth complimented Lucas in the conversation with Rosemary. She said that Lucas is the gentleman that he is. Like, we thought he was a bad guy at first, right? Like, he had like a bad background and like this mysterious past, but that chapter is now closed since the end of season 6, and now we get to see Lucas bloom as a character, and it's just a really nice steady growth for Lucas up to the point. In Rosemary, I feel like me and Rosemary can relate. Like, if I played Rosemary in this show, I would be like laughing my ass off. I would be like, yeah, okay. Because I truly believe that behind this situation, like, it does look like they, like, let's be honest. I mean, a single man and a single woman going out of town to reading. And Lucas did mention that there would be a formal reception afterwards, so dinner, just the two of them. So it's just like, it does look like a date, even though they mutually agree to go as friends. So I understand where Rosemary is coming from. Like, okay, like, you probably not how this a day, but it can lead to something greater down the road. You never know. And one more thing I want to add in this scene is that Rosemary really gave some wisdom to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth does need to focus on herself from time to time. She cannot just be consumed with the teacher duties and the motherhood. She does need some alone time here and there. It's not alone time in this circumstance with the reading with Lucas, but it's just Lucas basically open the door for her to do something that will make herself happy and that will drive her focus away from motherhood and teacher, just for a quick moment, just for the night. And I think it's a good thing for Elizabeth to go out of town, and I think it would be a good mental reason, like she'd be able to refresh, rejuvenate, and just have this good time out of town with Lucas. And at least she out of town with a gentleman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she would go out of town by herself. At least she has a man with her. I guess like a bodyguard. I think Lucas being with her will give her some peace of mind, and that she will be with someone that she knows. Like, I did not expect to say that, but I didn't even like think of it until now. Anyway, again, I'm like really super deep thinker when it comes to these things, but we'll see what happens in the second half of the episode. It's a big episode, and I truly believe that this episode propels the love triangle into another dimension. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!